Well, it is Friday. Thank God it is. Ken Laird finishing up his week of vacation. Kevin Gorman in with us for the Sports Reporters Roundtable, which we'll be getting into in a moment here. But we start things off with a very disappointing start to the long-anticipated Pirates-Cardinals series last night. Kevin, not just the results, but the way they played out. It was a pretty lousy performance by the Pirates all the way around.
Not completely unexpected, though. I mean, I think the anticipation level was there. I think people, coming off the sweep of the Padres, I think that was something that people were pretty excited about, and just to see that they won a series against the Padres at home, something they hadn't done in a long time. But I think the big thing is the Cardinals capitalized. They do what the Cardinals do. They capitalized on the opportunities that were there for them, and the Pirates didn't. And that's what separates these two teams right now, is that the Cardinals win those close games. They take advantage of those opportunities, and the Pirates are hit and miss when it comes to those things. It wasn't a poor pitching performance by Jeff Locke, and he was victimized by an error more than anything, I would say. But it's just when you see the base running gaffes and when you see the Pirates failing to take advantage of the opportunities that are there to capitalize on those opportunities, that's what's frustrating, especially against the Cardinals, especially against a team that more often than not does those things right.
Pat Murphy, the Padres manager, Pedro Alvarez's father-in-law, said after the Padres series, those guys over there have learned how to win, because there were 3 games they could have gone either way. They toughed them out. They came from behind in every one of them, won them late. They didn't battle against the Cardinals like that. The base running, it's one game. You can't get. They just won 5 in a row. All right, it's against the Cardinals, but the base running mistakes are not just one game. The base running mistakes are killing them. It's the same guy. Polanco doesn't know how to run the bases. Polanco is a minor league player when it comes to running the bases. He keeps making mistake after mistake. That whole game could have been different if they scored in the first inning last night.
That's the key, and I think you hit it on the head there, Guy, in the sense that this isn't a one-game deal. This is something that's plagued the Pirates for not just this season, but for years. That's been a big problem for them, has been the base running errors, and some of that's on the coaching. I mean, I'm not going to give the players any pass on this, especially Polanco. They should, these are things that you learn in Little League. You run on contact when in situational baseball. He should have known to not hesitate there, but some of that's on coaching. This is something that should have been addressed long before now, and that's something that's bothersome to me, is that this team isn't that adept on the base paths. This is a team that makes a lot of errors on the base paths and costs itself runs. The Pirates, I looked it up last night just because I was curious. They rank somewhere in the middle of the pack in the major leagues. I think it was 14th or 15th in players left on base, runners left on base. So that's not what's killing them, but I think what's killing them is when this is a team that when you see a guy like Pedro Alvarez has 12 home runs and 11 of them are with or solo shots. They have to take advantage of when they have guys on base, and in scoring position is most important.
Well, I brought up Murphy's comment about they've learned how to win. That last night they showed that they hadn't, at least against the Cardinals. When Josh Taylor and I were talking the other day, I said the biggest difference so far, as the Pirates have gotten good again and have battled against the Cardinals the last couple of years, is fundamentals. I think the Cardinals are a more sound. I don't think they're a better team. I don't even, right now with them being banged up, I don't even like them on paper as much as I like the Pirates. But fundamentally, if they got to get a runner over, they get a runner over. If they got to get a sac fly with a guy on third, they get a sac fly with a guy on third.
And you think that speaks to their minor league system, the development of the players as they come up. I mean, these are
Well, they put out that guide that they get, the Cardinal Way or whatever it is. Every new guy in the organization gets that book, and that maybe isn't a bad thing.
Well, the instruction and the focus on fundamentals has to start at the beginning of the organization, at the bottom of the organization, and those guys should know the fundamentals by the time they get to the majors. It shouldn't be an issue where how you teaching Gregory Polanco when to run and when not to run in a game, a week before the All-Star break. I mean, this is a vital series. I think. You could maybe say, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but, Clint Hurdle did his best to downplay the importance of this series and saying, hey, we know these are two of the best teams in baseball. We know that there's a lot of attention on us, but let's not get carried away. But, maybe the Pirates put a little bit too much pressure on themselves last night where the Cardinals didn't. Or maybe the Cardinals just came in with a laser-like focus and the Pirates didn't. I don't know. But it'll be
maybe it's just the law of average. The Cardinals have not been playing very well, and the Pirates had. Sooner or later, that'll flatten out.
Martinez pitched a great game, and so it's like, like, what I've found a lot of times is when the Pirates have a guy pitching a good game and the opponent pitches a great game, the Pirates' bats don't respond, and they didn't last night. They finally get a home run by Andrew McCutchen, but that's in the ninth inning. It's a little too late in some of those regards with the bats coming alive. When they've been kind of mystified by great pitching sometimes.
Well,
that's more troubling to me than anything.
Martinez doesn't get a chance to retire 12 guys in a row if they get to him early.
Sure.
First and third, nobody out in the first. Second and third, nobody out in the fourth. 2 walks in the third, and they get nothing out of any of that. And by the time the fifth rolls around, he's in a groove, and then they can't hit him.
Yeah,
so.
And Jeff Locke maybe gets out of that jam there if Jordy Mercer.
Yeah, he wasn't as dominant as his last performance when he was retired 19 in a row and was great, but he deserved better than the 4. And the Cardinals did last night what the Pirates have done a lot of games this year. They capitalized in 1 inning and made it stand up.
Sure.
So, all right, it's a long series. They got 3 more to go, and Garrett Cole pitching tonight. You have to feel pretty good about that.